Hello everyone. This is Ziki here, and I hope you're all doing very well. Welcome back here on our series Introduction to China. As I continue to give you videos about China, I've already shared with you aspects of the Chinese New Year, the taboos, the red envelopes, the gifts, the cleansing, the ancestral worshipping, some other aspects of Chinese culture. Now, we are still trying to push our content to YouTube so that YouTube is going to recognize our niche. As you know that we changed our niche from politics to something else. So YouTube is still trying to figure out what exactly is Ziki Media about. But we are not really bothered about that. We'll continue to give you the videos. We'll continue to upload videos about Chinese culture. So when I'm sharing some Chinese culture, I share it with passion, with love, because I studied Chinese culture and I fell in love with it because of also how the people of China like uphold their culture. They are not ashamed of their culture. They are not, in denial of their culture or their tradition and their customs. They follow them, and they believe in them. Some of them, yes. In as much as they have moved with the time and everything, they've also managed to keep their culture intact. So that is something that I admire. Okay. Sometimes I even look back at myself like, what are aspects of my Chinese, of my own culture that I still follow, my Shona culture? What is it exactly? Sometimes in the process we tend to lose our culture. We tend to consider our traditions and cultures to be wayward or backward, rather, to be backward, to be something that we are not proud of. So when I studied Chinese culture, I realized that the Chinese, they're proud of their culture and their customs and traditions, and some of them, they follow them to date. Okay, that is why you see Chinese women, they are not supposed to be, women who are everywhere. Now, if you've stayed in China, you realize that there is an element of softness with Chinese women. They are not very, fast forward, that kind of stuff. They're a little bit reserved, even though they are very smart, very intelligent, very aware of their surroundings and everything, but still they have that reservation that makes them to be women. They still have that softness that makes them to be women. I was, hearing from a friend of mine who told me that, as a woman, you're not supposed to be just everywhere. When you're eating, you're so clumsy, water is dripping from your mouth, the soup is falling, and you're supposed to be a woman and feminine and, nicely you drink. They used to say a long time ago, they used to wear something maybe like this, where women will be eating. When they're eating, they cover their mouth. When they're drinking, just to be so smart and everything. So those are some of the aspects of Chinese culture that I am really enjoying. So when I'm sharing with you about Chinese culture, I'm actually sharing with you something that is of interest to me, something that I'm continuously studying, something that I studied and I really understood a little bit. Now, we all know that Chinese, when they're eating, they use chopsticks. And during this holiday, chopsticks are, their fork and knife, right? So when you're using chopsticks, there's some other things that you're not supposed to do, and the things that should never be done using a chopstick. Number one, you should never point at someone using chopsticks. To point at someone or to say like this to someone with chopsticks, it's a no, no, no. Okay. Number two, you should not stir. Sorry, I have to use my little bowl. You should not stir your soup like this using your chopsticks. Your chopstick, you cannot do this, okay? On the table, you cannot do this. Number three, when you're sitting by the table with others and you're about to eat, you should not wander around with your chopsticks, touching food everywhere on the table, trying to figure out which one am I going to take. If you have not yet made up your mind, just don't do it. Make up your mind that, okay, I'm going to take vegetables and you put them there. I'm going to take this and put it there. But before you've made up your mind, don't wander your chopsticks around the table. It's a very bad table manner, for the Chinese, especially when you're using their chopsticks. Number three, we know that sometimes when you're eating, there's some food stuff that are left on the chopsticks. You should not lick your chopsticks, or you should not lick your chopsticks. It's something that is not done on the table. Okay, don't lick your chopsticks. Number three, you're not eating, don't leave your chopsticks stuck in your food like this. Sometimes we just put it like this and then it's standing upright like this. You rather it has to be lying like this. Okay, this is what is allowed, not like this. Okay. Some of us will leave it and then want to wander around and do whatever we want to do. We should not do like this. Then number three, you should not hold your chopsticks with two hands like this, or the way you handle the knife like this. No, it's not allowed on the table. Again, you have to hold the chopsticks the way they're supposed to be held. Okay. And also with your chopsticks, you are not allowed to, sometimes, if you don't know how to use a chopstick, usually you want to put it to hold to lift up your food like this, and then you do like this, and then you lift your food stuck on your chopstick like this. It's not also allowed, at the table when you're eating with others. Okay, so there's so many things, interesting things about the Chinese culture, about how they connect them. And the good thing is themselves, they follow it to date. Okay, they follow it, everything that they tell you not to do, they also don't do. Okay, so these are some of the etiquette when it comes to using chopsticks. Don't lick your chopsticks. Don't stick your chopsticks in your food. Don't use your chopsticks to stir on them, in your soup. Don't wander your chopsticks around the table. When you've not yet made up your mind, like, what am I going to eat, what am I going to, don't leave your chopstick like this. Let your chopstick lie down, hold your chopstick nicely, lift your bowl like this. Sometimes when you're eating, don't go they don't like it to be licking. There's so many things that you cannot do. So this is why I'm like, well, I will continuously be sharing with you some of these things. All the things that I'm also learning, I'll also be sharing with you, so that we can also, it's just good to know and understand other people's cultures, especially when you are living with them. The more you know about them, the more you learn about their culture, the more it becomes easier for you to relate with them. I've heard a lot of people saying, well, it's difficult to stay with the Chinese. Yes, it is difficult because they are different people from us. But if we learn how to live with them, if we understand their culture, if we understand what they do and what they don't like to do, if we understand how to conduct ourselves, then it's going to be very, very easy for us. There is one thing that is a no for the Chinese women to do. If you go outside during summer, you're going to find Chinese women wearing very, very skimpy shorts, like bum shorts, small little shorts. But one thing that you'll never see a Chinese with is opening cleavage. Cleavage is a no, no, no. Your upper body, your breasts, and everything here should be well covered. There is no big bum, big boob, what, big book boom that you want to show people, when you're walking around flaunting your big. It's a no for the Chinese. In Chinese culture, the chest has to be closed. Down there, they'll be wearing shorts, bikini, all this kind of stuff, but the top is always closed. Okay, they don't leave this area. So you also have to understand that. It's like that sometimes when you want to go to work, or you want to go and hang out with your Chinese friends, or you just want to visit their homes, you will know how to dress properly. You will know how to dress properly, that you understand that, well, the certain things I cannot wear. I cannot go, opening my boobs, showing, I want to show my cleavage. We know in some other Western cultures, even our culture, people open their boobs. They want everyone to see that they've got big boobs, big round boobs. Why is this boob thing not coming out of my mouth? But anyway, you've understood what I'm trying to say, okay? And also in Chinese, when you want to enter someone's home, you have to take off your shoes. Usually, most of the time, they have a rack with some slippers on for you to put on your slippers and then enter the houses. You leave your shoes by the door. It's not like, I know that, where we come from, there's no way you can ask people to take off their shoes when they're getting into the house. They will take you like, what? We'll never go back to the house again. Do you know what she does when you get to a house? When you get to a house, she asks you to take off your shoes. But in Chinese culture and in China, taking off your shoes is something that you do without even thinking. It's something that you're not even forced or told to do. You do it by yourself. You know that your shoes have to remain by the door. And then you take off your shoes, you put on the slippers. Slippers are always there by the door for you to enter. Maybe they've got guest slippers, which maybe they can give you. Say, okay, you can put on this one. Or if they don't offer you any slippers, you can even walk on your socks or on your foot. Then they can say, no, put on these ones they can give you. But don't just enter someone's home with your shoes. A Chinese home with your shoes. It's not something that you do, okay? You have to understand that, outside is very dirty. Everything, it's hygienic, I think. It's hygienic, Shoes, we step on every kind of thing outside, and then we want to get into the house. You still want to go and step on the carpet, on the floors with that same shoe that you're stepping with it outside. Food drops down. You want to pick up your food and eat and everything. But for the Chinese, you have to leave your shoes by the door, and it's something that you have to do without even being forced or being told of it, So there are many other aspects of Chinese culture that I'm going to be sharing with you. Right now, there's a series that I want to start on technology. I also want to start another series on Chinese language, and then another aspect, you know, different aspects of Chinese culture that we can learn about, okay? But in the process, we don't forget our own, because as we study Chinese culture, we also remember our own culture, that we need to uphold our own culture. We need also to keep our own culture. I was talking to Rodney the other day, and he was saying, Ziki, he was actually saying, Melody, the way you are studying Chinese, or the way you have studied Chinese, why don't you also learn about your own culture, you know, extensively, the way you have studied Chinese culture, the way you understand Chinese culture? I thought it was very, very interesting, you know, the way you spoke about it, the way what you said and everything. I found it to be very, very true, in the sense that sometimes we learn about other cultures, we understand and everything, but our own culture, we don't know the important aspects of it. We have neglected it. So I think what he said was very, very something I'm considering doing, okay? When I get back home, I'm considering, you know, also understanding my own culture, where we came from and where we are going as a people. So this is all I have for you, my friends. Until I come back again with more videos, more stories and everything, please subscribe and stay so that you don't miss on this and more. Until then, take care. Take care. Okay. Now you see, my my Shona thing is about to come out again. Oh my gracious goodness me. Anyway, thank you so much.